should be happy.
A star dies every millisecond, but only once in a millennium does a deity rise up with a potent mega weapon attached to his own hips.
I hope you find a man just like your brother.
Let us bear humble witness.
Happy birthday.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I love the background.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the background.
Thank you.
Well, I gotta tell you, this was one of the craziest movies I've seen this year. I mean, it was so fantastic. It was so like comedic and absurd in like the best way imaginable, in my opinion. So I like, and this is like the best way to start November, hands down. So great job.
Thank you, Albert. That's like, we love that when we found a fellow freak. It seems like for our freak club.
It's a perfect Thanksgiving movie. Now that you mentioned great November, it's a movie about family, and so what a better way to celebrate Thanksgiving, really.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this is like the definition of a dysfunctional family. You know, we've had our TV dysfunctional families, but this one takes the cake hands down. So my first question's for Kimball and Mark. What brought this? What was the concept behind this? How did you guys come up with the idea for this movie?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, and so essentially Kimball, I won't go back too far, but Kimball met me, and he reached out cold to, I was a producer at the time, and we met before COVID, and Kimball kind of was the one who gave me the confidence to start directing and said, "Oh, I'll be in your movie." I'm like, "Really?" Like, I know actors ever like wanted to, like, okay, maybe I'm not just a writer. And then we shot a short, and then that went super well during COVID, and we really loved that. That got into Fantasia. COVID continued, and we're like, let's run it back. Let's do a feature. And we sort of did the Mark Duplass School of Filmmaking strategy, which I had always done as a producer on smaller films, which is, you know, right to what you have resource-wise. And I'm like, I have two family members who would give me their house, my grandma and my aunt. My grandma's house was way weirder. And then we were sort of like, you know, what kind of character do you want to play? And Kimball, I think it's always like, well, I want to play like a kid who loves video games and like thinks that he's a god. And it's like, yeah, like that's what I want to direct. Like, let's start with that. It's like, it's low budget. And then you know, so it started as a fun idea, and then it really evolved into like a satire on, you know, all of our upbringings, which is, you know, coming from a religious background, and just the absurdity and humor that can be found in trying to raise a family, and also, you know, giving them the sex talk and like those kinds of things that could go wrong. And I think actually that's a common ground we could speak of. And Kimball, I'll pass it off to you. But I think both of us, when we got the sex talk as children, were completely like misunderstood it. And we weren't Hippo, but it was kind of like, well, what if we were completely mentally ill? So yeah, my mom gave a version of that speech, and then Kimball's parents at least made him believe. What did they make you believe?
Well, it was funny. It wasn't even, to be honest, it wasn't even that my parents told me this, but I just had the weirdest idea of it growing up, and I thought that like the way that this happened was two humans laid naked in the bed next to each other but did not touch. I genuinely, up until I was like 10, I thought that's how it went. And then I don't know, maybe even longer. I don't know what's wrong with me. But so we had these, because of our like sheltered, hyper religious upbringings, we had these weird beliefs on the world, on the human body, on all these things. And so we put that into Hippo, and we were like, what if you put that into someone who was just like a twinge too mentally ill, like someone who's a little bit too, because and I'm sorry I say this again, we have degrees of mental illness for sure, me and Mark, and
anxiety, depression, OCD, those kinds of things.
Like we have the starter pack, but like imagine if you gave it to someone who was like playing on a little bit of a different level, and like in like a, you know, the sheltered 1990s, and like let's see where that's.
And what if and usually it's the stepbrother who wants to have sex with the stepsister in all these movies. Yeah. What if it's the opposite way? And then enter Lilla, the sort of innocent, normal one of the family, and you have this perfect combination for a disaster comedy.
Exactly. So this next one's for Lilla. Speaking of that, what was it like working with these guys?
Uh, it was really new for me because I was never been in the US and I never had friends from the US, and I just jumped in. I met with Mark at Berlinale at 2021, I think, and we shot the movie at also 2021 at November, and Berlinale was at June in that time. And after we met, and they wrote or just finished the whole script, or you wrote it, that you wrote before also and finished the script in the summer, right?
Yeah, when we met, we were writing with you in mind as the character, not knowing if it would work out or if you could actually do it, but
Which is actually, I think, it's unbelievable that I love that when the director just falling in love with an actor or actress, and after just have them in their mind and make the film like that, because it's giving you much more closeness when you're playing it, that you can feel that he knows that he wants you, and because of that, and because they are really fantastic people, it was, yeah, the whole crew was like really like a family. We went to, when we had a break day, we went to make a tattoo for crew members together, and I don't know, like 20 people was in a small tattoo place in Pennsylvania, and we cooked together, and I don't know, it was also really, really special that all of the crew moved to State College where we shot the movie, and it's totally different experience to make a movie like that than just every day going to the set and blah blah. So yeah.
it was like a big family.
Yeah.
It's the best way to make a movie.
And I think that's what makes it work, because the chemistry between Kimball and Lilla was great. I mean, even the fact that, I mean, they were unhinged in their own little ways, but I think Kimball really took the cage for probably the most unhinged person I've ever seen on film, because I've seen some psychos in films. I mean, even like you were on the level of like some of the horror icons there with some of
Oh my God.
the way you brought up like the birthday scene, especially. You just like, that's the scene where you really like flipped out, and it reminded me of that movie Funny Games. So like you could have been a guy, like one of the killers in that movie.
And thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. No, yeah, Hippo's a real fucked up guy for sure. And I think like it to me, it's like a really great duo in film, to have someone who's so deeply far gone and dark mentally, but I think really deep down he does really care about Buttercup. It's almost like, even more than his mom, it's like he wants to protect her. He wants, and Lilla came in and just like created something that was like, it was like, oh, she is my family, she is my sister. And so it was so easy to act with her, and like it could not have been anyone but Lilla. It was a real family experience. And like, as dark and horrible as Hippo is, like I think like the one thing, his one, maybe he has a few others, I don't know, maybe his one redeeming quality is that like he does care about his family and want to protect his family.
Yeah, he definitely does. That I noticed, especially in probably one of the cringiest scenes I've ever seen in the film, when Darwin comes in and tries to hook up with Lilla, and you're just sitting there watching, and he's just,
and it's like, that will not fly.
I think that's the instance where I said, "Oh man, I hope this." I gotta say, is I hope this guy gets his, because this is just too. This was creepy and unhinged. I was waiting for something bad to happen to this guy, because it was just the way he was coming on to her, and then in the bedroom. I was actually laughing, but I was just like, "Oh God, this is like horrible. This is insane."
Yeah, you're like, okay, I want Hippo to put his violence to the test and use it here. I get like with this other awful human being. It really is like it's a mixing pot of the weirdest kinds of people, this movie.
And Jesse does so well. I should give him a shout out. Jesse Pimentel plays Darwin there, and he's also someone I've known for a while and had in mind for the part. He voices a character in Resident Evil. He's in a bunch of cool indie stuff, and man, he just brought the weird. I said it was COVID, and he was like not dieting well, and I was like, keep just eating junk food. Like he's like, I look like shit. Is that okay? I'm like, that's perfect. Keep looking like shit. So he shows up just like a freak. Yeah.
And then I really loved Eliza Roberts in this one as the mom, because she just comes across as weird. And I like her little backstory at first, where it's like she's tired of all that. She's so exhausted, but yet she's like she spoils Hippo, and Buttercup not so much, like not as bad as Hippo. She doesn't really spoil, but I like the fact that she just plays everything nonchalantly, like anything. And I remember the last movie I saw Eliza in was like Animal House, when she played the receptionist. So I remember her from that. But what, from all your viewpoints, what was it like working with Eliza on this?
The children of Eliza.
Yeah, yeah, Lilla. What? I mean, she's like Eliza really does become like the mother to everyone on set. So it's again another one of those family things where it's like she really did feel like. And now we've grown so close with her because we also did our short Andronicus with her, and so this is the second time that she played my mom, and so like I'll like text her as though she is my mom, or like on set, like you ask her the questions that maybe you would ask your mom in real life if you were next to your mom, like, do you think this bump is cancer? Do you think I'm going to die? And Eliza would be like, no, that's not cancer, that's normal. And then my hypochondria would be put to rest. But like, so she really, but besides that, she's a tremendous actor. I think one of my favorite lines from the entire film is she's looking out the window and she sees that little like UFO thing in the sky. And just the way she says, nobody's going to believe me, but I know, is just I don't know why there's something so funny about it. And like, I don't even think she was trying, but it was so good. I mean, she's obviously trying, but the way she did it, I don't know. It's just,
she's incredible. And she like, it's funny too, because like, again, bits and pieces of our life, this is definitely not a full play on like, this isn't my mom or Kimball's mom, but I think our moms all have this, like, I think a lot of moms have this thing of just like a naivete that can be destructive without realizing it. And I think that's another fun satire of the film, is like the mother that's, like you said, overly doting to the son and not realizing they're actually probably creating a monster, especially if their son has these proclivities such as Hippo. And it's like, my boy can do no wrong, my big boy. And it's like, and I think that's just a cautionary tale for mothers, and especially sons who can become insane. And then, like you said, she's not as nice to Buttercup, and that's just a bit of an unfortunate.
She's overprotective to Buttercup, and
which is a classic trope, which is a classic thing of American families, and I think it's a little outdated. And I think we should give all our children similar expectations or whatever.
Yeah,
definitely.
But Eliza.
I don't know about that, because my mom was not like that to me. My mom used to just beat my butt every day. But that's
honestly though,
I deserved it. I deserved it at the time. I'm not gonna lie.
but like honestly, for like that Hippo probably would have turned out better if that was the case, because it's clear that like the like tending to his every need did not work, because you're just kind of reinforcing like, okay, he's the god, he's a god, he gets what he wants, and like it's important to get like at least put in time out, you know what I mean, like no more video games for the night, please,
yeah
that's awesome. So what's next for you? What's next for you guys after this movie that's coming out next week? What's next for you guys that you could talk about?
Well, we're trying to get some other movies going. Nothing is 100% set in stone. There might be a weird church thriller of sorts that's in the works. Kimball's shooting some stuff separately. Well, can you talk about what you're going to be in? And Lilla, can you guys talk about your projects that you're going to be in?
Do you want to go first?
Oh no, come.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a few things in the can. One, I don't know that I'm allowed to talk about, but like it's a television show that is it's a good one, but it's but
you can't say the specifics, right?
I probably can't say the specifics. I don't even know if I can say like where it's going to be at.
But you could say it's a big show and you'll be cast alongside a name.
Well,
it's a big. It's.
I'll look out for variety in that case.
Yeah. It'll be out there in the next few. The knowledge will be revealed, I think, in the next few months. I'm not sure, but other than that, some fun indies, and I popped into Tina Romero, the daughter of George Romero. She directed her own take on her father's work, and it's called Queens of the Dead. And it's like about like if like a zombie apocalypse broke out in like a drag club in Bushwick, and then some other indie films. And I'm doing a horror movie this month with one of the writer producers on the Apple series Servant, with M. Night Shyamalan series. So some fun stuff cooking.
Nice.
But yeah, sorry, I'm just blabbering my mouth.
No,
Lilla,
you're-
please. Lilla, by the way, Silver Bear winner, and recently was in a Venice winner, and other stuff that I don't know that I'm allowed to talk about on her sake.
No, thank you for the nice introduction. I studied film directing originally, and now I'm doing my master diploma in Vienna, also in film directing. And now I'm working as a film director more and theater director. Now I will make a short film in February. After maybe will be a big production, but maybe not. But maybe we'll make a theater play, maybe not. It's this industry have always big how does it called this
Question mark?
Yeah.
Question marks, but moving to another country and start a university is more than enough, and learning a new language in full time. I'm learning German.
Wow.
And in the last 2 months, which is quite hard, but yes, that's what I'm doing nowadays.
Well, I'll tell you this, Lilla, if you ever make a short film or a feature film, you let me know. I would love to like review it and do another interview with you about it, because I'm all for that. I'm all for the global industry as well. It's just not just indies, but also all over the world. So I'm gonna keep an eye out.
Okay.
Thank
Then I
you.
will send to you.
And we'll send you
Lilla-
our next
Yeah.
crazy movie that we make, hopefully.
Yeah.
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 Awesome. Everyone, check out Hippo on November the 8th. This is one of the wildest, craziest movies I've seen this year. And if you love the dysfunctional family element, you're definitely going to want to see this one. And Mark, Kimball, and Lilla, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Albert. Have a good one.
You too. You guys stay awesome.
Nice
Happy
day.
Halloween.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.